Commander Zixstar clicked his mandibles in amusement as the primitive vessel approached their battle cruiser. The ship was laughably crude, a patchwork of scavenged metal plates, welded together with no regard for aesthetics or proper engineering principles. Dark scorch marks decorated its hull like primitive war paint, and what appeared to be jury-rigged weapons sprouted from every available surface like metallic growths. "Look at this abomination," Zixstar chittered to his second-in-command, Lieutenant Kel Knox. "The humans dare to challenge the Dominion fleet with this garbage scow?" The bridge crew erupted in harmonious laughter, their crystalline voices creating a symphony of mockery that echoed through the pristine corridors of the Dominion warship Stellar Supremacy. Everything aboard their vessel was perfection, incarnate gleaming surfaces that reflected their bioluminescent skin, weapons systems calibrated to surgical precision, and shields that had never failed against any known enemy. Kel Knox studied the approaching human craft through their advanced sensors. "Sir, I'm detecting unusual energy signatures. The ship's configuration doesn't match any known human design in our databases." "Of course it doesn't." Zixstar waved a dismissive tentacle. "They probably built it in their garage. Humans are notorious for their primitive improvisation." He activated the communication array. "Human vessel, you are trespassing in Dominion space. Surrender now, and your death will be swift." The response came crackling through their speakers, not the expected plea for mercy, but a sound that made Zixstar's skin crawl. It was laughter, but not the refined amusement of his crew. This was something darker, more primal. Human laughter, but wrong somehow. "Thanks for the warning, Bug Eyes," came the gravelly human voice. "But we've got a different plan." Suddenly, the human ship began to change. What they had mistaken for crude welding seams started to separate, revealing them to be articulated joints. The scorch marks weren't battle damage, they were natural patterns, like the stripes of some predatory beast. The jury-rigged weapons weren't attached to the hull, they were growing from it, extending like claws from a massive paw. Zixstar felt his confidence evaporate as the truth became horrifyingly clear. This wasn't a ship at all. The creature for that's what it was unfurled massive wings that had been folded against its sides, each one easily the size of a Dominion destroyer. What they had interpreted as engine exhaust were actually breathing vents, pulsing with a rhythmic that suggested something very much alive. The bridge they had identified was actually ahead, and now two enormous eyes opened, each one burning with an intelligence that was both alien and terrifyingly ancient. "By the void," Kel Knox whispered, his bioluminescent patches flickering in terror. "It's a leviathan. A void leviathan." The creature's massive jaws opened, revealing rows of teeth that could have been mistaken for boarding spikes. When it spoke, its voice resonated through space itself, vibrating through their hull and into their bones. "We are the devourer of stars," it rumbled. "And you, our dinner." Zixstar frantically activated their weapons systems, but the energy beams that had conquered a dozen worlds simply bounced off the creature's hide like raindrops. The beast's laughter shook their ship, causing hull breaches in sections that had been considered impregnable. "Impossible," Zixstar stammered. "Void leviathans are myths. Legends. They don't exist." "Tell that to the Vorthan Empire," the creature replied. And suddenly Zixstar understood why an entire civilization had vanished without a trace 3 centuries ago. "Tell that to the makers of Kethmore." "Oh wait, you can't. We ate them all." The devourer moved with surprising grace for something so massive, its wing membranes catching stellar winds that shouldn't have existed. Tentacle-like appendages shot out from its underbelly, wrapping around the Dominion cruiser's hull with organic cables that pulsed with their own sinister life. The humans, Kel Knox realized with dawning horror. They didn't build a ship. They tamed a monster. From somewhere deep within the creature's body came another voice, definitely human this time, and filled with grim satisfaction. 3 years we've been partners, the voice said. 3 years since we found her drifting in the Magellan Nebula, half dead and starving. 3 years since we made a deal. The creature's grip tightened, and Zixtar heard his ship's hull beginning to buckle. What deal? He demanded, though he wasn't sure he wanted to know the answer. Simple, the human replied. We feed her, and she helps us clean house. Starting with pompous alien empires that think they own the galaxy. The Devourer's mouth opened wider, revealing a throat that seemed to tunnel into infinity. Bioluminescent patterns along its gullet pulsed with hunger, and Zixtar realized they were looking at their tomb. You see, the creature explained, almost conversationally, humans aren't the apex predators in their system, but they're the only species smart enough to make friends with the ones who are. As the Dominion ship was drawn inexorably toward those terrible jaws, Zixtar's last coherent thought was a bitter irony. They had spent decades studying humanity's capacity for violence, their tendency toward warfare, their primitive but effective weapons. But they had completely missed humanity's most dangerous trait, their ability to turn anything, even cosmic horrors, into allies. The laughter had stopped being funny the moment they realized the joke was on them. In the depths of space, the Devourer of Stars finished its meal and turned toward the next Dominion outpost, its human crew already plotting their approach. After all, there were plenty more bullies in the galaxy who needed to learn that humans had made some very dangerous friends among the stars, and the universe was vast enough to feed them all.